Hi everyone, it's Victor speaking, and I'm here with your weekly forecast. This week I've got a little bit more time to make videos, so I hope you will enjoy this video. And if you do so, then just press like and share the video and ring the notification bell as well. Now, this weekend, I will be making a webinar about Juno and then what it represents. It represents within us the rage towards love and romance, but it also represents the perfect partnership. So if you are interested in that, just check out on my website. And I could see that plenty of you were really happy about Sweaty joining the AstroViktor family as well. So I'm pretty happy about that. So if you would like to have a reading with us, then the link is in the description box below. But without any further ado, let's get started. I chose this background because we are full of like intense energies. So surely there is going to be a little bit of a drama in our life. Firstly, we are going to be experiencing the solar eclipse. Now, I have made a separate video about that, so I don't want to be talking about it in length, but we will be speaking a little bit more about Mars changing sign, and he's going to jump into the sign of Leo. And also we're going to be talking about the Mercury cosmi on the 10th, and also Venus square Chiron, which is going to be happening on the 12th of June, and also a little bit of a Venus Uranus sextile as well. So we are having a little bit of a playfulness going on. And we're going to be closing today's session with a Sun square Neptune. So we've got kind of plenty to cover. So without any further ado, let's get started. So as I said, the week really starts for us with the solar eclipse. I'm just going to give you a very quick overview on that. Because you will be able to find an intense video about that. So basically, we've got kind of like a significant event, which we call a solar eclipse. And when a solar eclipse happens, basically the sun's light is temporarily blocked. So let's just think about that for a second, what it means when the light is blocked, right? So basically think about what you do at night. You go to sleep, right? Things are kind of like, things are happening in the background. So this is something which is very much amplifying kind of an internal change within us. Eclipses always come with a little bit of a drama. What is normally going in the right direction for you, all of a sudden you might feel that it gets blocked. So it might be just something very simple. So for instance, you booked a reading with Victor or Tsweti, and all of a sudden we are not available because, let's say, our computer crashes or something like that. So whatever is going in the normal direction, it tends to be a little bit hectic around, especially within that 2-day period while the moon is in the sign of Gemini as well. So this disruption to your regular programs, that's very, very possible. But of course, the eclipse is something which is extremely special. So I tend to be saying that we are going to be experiencing the eclipse to the next full moon, which is going to be happening in 9 to 18 month period. So I see it quite often that, oh, eclipse happened, nothing really going on in my life. Well, wait at least 9 months and then it's going to be revealing it to you. You know, it's first, it has to kind of happen within yourself before any type of physical manifestation is going to be taking place as well. So eclipse, of course, is not going to be affecting everyone, but those who have got planets in Gemini, Sagittarius especially, or secondly in Virgo and Pisces, Pisces are more likely impacted rather than Virgo. So the order would be Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and last but not least, Virgo. So, it has got that kind of dark quality to it. It might be something which is all about conquering your fears. You might be craving for a lot more privacy. You might want to be hiding a lot more as well. So, and the solar eclipses usually tend to be affecting those people actually who work with who work in leadership programs, for instance, or who work with the public. Those are typically the ones who get affected the most. Now, what's also striking about this solar eclipse is that Mercury, its ruler, on the very same day is going to be forming a cosine with the Sun as well. And of course, we know that Mercury is retrograde at the moment. So we've got plenty of Gemini traits going on at the moment. And whenever Mercury and the Sun are in cosine, basically it's kind of like a privilege for Mercury. It rarely happens when Mercury is in cosine, and we also have got a solar eclipse happening as well. To be frank, I wanted to look up when it happened the very last time, and I kind of realized it would have been very difficult. So if you have got any ideas when it happened last, please put it in the comment box below, because I like actually looking at what happened around that time in the world. But when Mercury is within 17 minutes from the Sun, this is what we call as cosine in astrology. And it kind of means that Mercury is kind of sitting like on the Sun's lap. So, and whatever Sun touches, it brings kind of like an illumination and enlightenment to that planet. So it's like Mercury being the part of the king's heaven. And the king is somehow kind of whispering some type of secrets into your ear. And it's only Mercury who he is sharing with. So it's a very special alignment. It's very kind of recommended to kind of like try to connect with your divine energies as well. Let's not forget Mercury is extremely strong at the moment, even though it's a retrograde. They already met somewhere around 0 degree of Gemini as well. So some of the seeds kind of have been already planted. So look at that period of time about a month and a half ago. Did you start any type of project? Because you can actually manifest something now, or you might need to be revisiting that period of time for you. So for Gemini, it's very much about your image and personal goals. For Cancer, it's more about doing some type of inner work. For Leo rising sign, it's very much about the society out there, shining somehow with our friends or just the society itself. Virgo, you will be impacted the most in your career and status. Libra, it's something related to travel and studies. So you might want to be traveling. It got postponed, and maybe it's time to revisit those travel plans. For Scorpio, it's very much about sexuality and your joint resources with your partner. For Sagittarius, it's all about love and relationships. So Sagittarius rising might be able to meet someone, or maybe it's time to discuss something in their relationship also. Capricorn, you're going to have to pay attention to your job and health a little bit more. Aquarius, it's very much regarding to your kids, your romance, or even you can give birth to a creative project. Pisces rising sign, it's very much about the home and the family. Aries, it's you might be bumped or bumped basically with plenty of ideas, or you might be taking part in community projects a lot more. And last but not least, Taurus, you will feel that in your money department the most. So, we're talking about a very positive energy here. So I just gave some keywords really because I didn't want to spend so much time about talking about, what it might mean. I have made a separate video about this solar eclipse, so you might want to be referring to that. But definitely, your way of thinking can be very heightened. The communication could be a lot more smooth as well, and you might need to revisit some of your mental activities as well. You can be a lot more mentally alerted. Your thinking can be a lot quicker and a lot more productive as well. But also, of course, there could be an increase in interaction with the neighborhood, with your siblings, or even with schools or online activities as well. So this could be a very busy period of time with appointments or replying to emails, attending meetings, plenty of social activity going on. Now, the following day on the 11th, and this is one of the reasons why I've chosen the background, because there is Mars entering the sign of Leo, which is kind of an exciting period for us, surely, because Leo is a hot and dry energy as well as Mars. So Mars definitely loves spending time in the sign of Leo. And at the end of the day, I usually say that Mars is trying to become somehow a Capricorn because that's his exalted position. But this time around, while he's kind of representing the journey, the hero's journey, it's gonna have to learn a little bit about the sun's qualities because he is ruled by the sun. So whenever you look at any type of planets, you're gonna have to look at the dispositor as well. So yes, of course, when we look at what Mars represents in our chart, it talks about some type of struggles, right? Or something we want to be fighting for. Why do we get out of our bed each morning? What is motivating us? Where is that inner passion? And that this Mars this time around gets that summer quality to it. So let's just think about that summer quality a little bit. So we have got the summer equinox happening on the 21st of June. And then after that, each of the day is going to get shorter. So, because the 21st is the longest day ever. So, when it comes to the Mars, it might start with plenty of passion and desire in the sign of Leo, but it starts burning out. So, let me give you another example. Imagine that you wake up in the morning very motivated, and then you want to be going on to the beach, and then it's scorching hot, and all of a sudden you feel that you kind of getting tired, and then you want to have a sleep, right? Because you might get a sunburn, or it's just scorching out there, and you need plenty of water, and then you go into the sea, and then you have a swim, you feel better about yourself, and then you lay down on the beach again. So this is the kind of energy what Mars has got in the sign of Leo, right? It kind of like we can describe this as a slow burner. So, the slow burner in a sense that, like the fire or the flame, or like a candle which is burning all night, but at one point it's gonna get put out. So we start something with plenty of passion, and then the energy level just drops, and drops. So therefore, with Mars in the sign of Leo, there is always an element of struggle as well, because I want to get going, but something stops me back. And as I said, we must look at where the sun is this time around, and it's going to be somewhere in Gemini and then later on in Cancer. So there could be kind of like a feisty type of communication going on. Maybe the family matters or the country itself is going to be causing some type of challenges and struggle for us, right? So our communication style definitely could be a lot more fiery. Maybe you come up with plenty of ideas about making a business transaction, and then you will see that, hold on a minute, I can't really conquer this, right? So you start something with plenty of motivation. And what is the reason why Leo gets out of bed? To kind of celebrate, to be famous, to be noticed and recognized by others. And Mars this time around is going to be working on achieving those, but maybe it's going to be seeing some type of challenges, let's say on social media, which is very much about the Gemini energies. So this is how you should be analyzing, for instance, your own Mars as well. Let's say if Mars is, for instance, in the sign of Cancer, like we had it in last month, obviously the moon placement is going to be affecting us significantly. And maybe when Mars is in the sign of Aries, then we feel a lot more energetic, right? But when it's, for instance, the moon is in Pisces, that Mars is going to be a little bit of a sleepy one, right? So this is how you should be looking at this Mars. I would be saying that watch out for that period of time when the sun is going to be changing sign, and that's from Gemini into Cancer. Because, of course, Cancer is a very emotional one. So Mars will become a lot more emotional as well. So at the beginning of the period, this Mars is a lot more chatty and a lot more full of ideas. And then after, it's going to go a little bit funny. But there is, the other reason why actually I like Mars in Leo is because the passion and the desire becomes steady though. So it's not that easy to kind of tell Mars, that, okay, it's not going to work. So that Mars in Leo might want to be trying things in a different way. The reason why I believe this Mars is going to be slightly bit challenging, because Mars in a couple of weeks' time will be opposing Saturn as well. But we're going to be speaking about that around the 20th of June anyway. Okay, so Mars conflicts to solar things. You might want to be looking at where the Gemini and Cancer in your chart. So don't forget that Mars is all about passion, desire, and sexuality, how you react to things. So you can react to things in an emotional way. And especially the first 7 to 8 days of this period of time, we might be a lot more argumentative as well, right? So when it comes to sexuality, we might just want to be spending a lot more time, passionate moments with our partner as well. But another reason why I like Mars in Leo is because it is full of confidence. It's bold and courageous, and um, and it kind of looks forward to the next challenge, and it wants to conquer the world. But Mars is the planet of action. And because Leo is a fixed sign, it talks about sustained action, right? So this Mars is actually able to run the marathon if it wants to. Yes, it's going to get tired, but somehow it's going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So definitely there is this consistent stabilizing energy around Mars, and that's kind of exciting. So I've also noticed that Mars in Leo, we can become a lot more frustrated. We can have a lot more anger going on as well. So it's just worth watching out for that too. Now, on the 12th of June, Venus is going to be squaring Chiron. So I want to speak about that because recently plenty of relationships have been affected with different energies. So and now Venus squaring Chiron is also giving us a little bit of an oomph to it. So when it comes to these two energies, there is kind of an element of a pain within the relationship. And it could just cause some type of inner conflicts. It doesn't have to happen in the relationship itself. Just I kind of feel like something is not there. Something is missing and it makes me unhappy, or it just makes somehow the relationship unbalanced, right? There might be a desire more like being out of the relationship or just getting more within the relationship. So with Chiron, usually our self-worth tends to be significantly impacted. So it's going to be very important that you're going to be able to speak about that, because remember, this is still happening around the eclipse season where we've got plenty of Gemini going on. So it's going to be important that you guys sit down and speak about that. But I would also say that, you know, you might feel that you are not allowed to do things which you enjoy, or or the relationship you are having is somehow need to be authorized by someone else, or you kind of feel like that love has to be earned and it is a hard work, or there are rules how we can make money and then you get tired of that, or you might feel that somehow I have to give up my own tastes. You might be having some type of blockages that I'm not likable, I'm not attractive enough. I will always be single if you don't have a relationship. I will always be poor. Work is not meant to be fun. I just have to get it going and not enjoying what I'm doing. Or you might even feel that only men can get to the top. So these are somehow these are blockages which gets kind of highlighted for you pretty much with the solar eclipse as well, and that needs to be worked on, right? So with Chiron, there is always an element of a pain. We tend to be calling him as the wounded healer, which I kind of don't agree with that. I spoke about that last week in one of my webinars in regards to the differences between Chiron and Hygeia, and a little bit of a Sedna as well. So in my opinion, Hygeia, which is the asteroid number 10, is more about healing rather than Chiron. Chiron is more about teaching how to heal yourself rather than the prevention part of things. So, you know, just a couple of steps I would like to share to you for this aspect, what you could be doing. Firstly, if you feel that this aspect is affecting you significantly, then the consciousness is the most important, right? So we're going to have to observe ourselves and we're going to have to realize what is triggering this feeling within ourselves, right? And body is one of the best signal. So look at your body. Do you have any type of flushes going on, or you feel like that your muscles are tensed up, or you realize that your fist is you know, somehow a lot more, you know, like strained in a sense. And then after, once you figure that out, maybe find the moment to kind of reflect on it a little bit. So you dig deep and then maybe just calm down, do some breath work. Don't just be shallow about it, and then maybe sit down with the partner and then acknowledge what is going on or what the difficulties are in the relationship. And then maybe you also want to be visualizing a little bit. I tend to be calling Chiron as the Saturn Uranus conjunction. Remember, it sees the past and sees the future as well. So it's going to be important that you visualize a little bit to see, you know, what could be the outcome if I change things around. Okay. So, and then we've got 13th, where we're going to have a very playful aspect going on, and that's going to be Venus and Uranus sextile. Now, sextile is usually very joyful, and of course, with Venus and in sextile to Uranus, we can expect plenty of fun as well. So this aspect has got an element of a discovery to it, maybe discovering new ways of joy, and maybe you're going to be quite shocked as well, like, you know, I've never done this before, and I would have never thought I would. And then all of a sudden, you kind of realize at the end of it that you enjoyed it. So, of course, if you are single, that's very possible as well that someone new might be coming out of the blue. And usually I call Uranus is like, you know, there is no other way. I mean, you must notice the person because you are going to be bumping into the person, or maybe even the person going to be kind of knocking you over in the street, and then you look at the person and then you fall in love, you know, all those type of lovely things. So it definitely stimulates your need for fun and excitement and a little bit of a social life as well. Brilliant day to spend the day together with your loved ones, doing something fun, or even with your friends as well. Now, I would also say that with this aspect, of course, Uranus always has got that shaking up quality to it. So you might want to be looking at where your Venus is, what Venus rules in your chart, because those can get a little bit flirty and exciting as well. You might just receive a gift from someone, which is going to be a pleasant surprise. Or you might receive a bigger amount of money from someone, or you might find money on the street. That's also very possible. You know, for instance, today when I woke up, because I'm quite clumsy when it comes to leaving things in my pockets and so forth. And I always can kind of get surprised when I find a little bit of a money in my pocket or in the washing machine and all those type of things. Definitely with Venus Uranus, it's a brilliant time to make new friends, meeting lovers as well. And also this could really bring some type of shortcut in the bedroom also. So it's good to try new things out. And the very last aspect we want to be speaking today about is the Sun square Neptune. So that's also on the 13th. Maybe this is not necessarily the greatest one. But when Sun and Neptune are squaring each other, it does weaken our vitality. So think about that Venus Uranus who wants to have plenty of fun. But then Sun square Neptune might not give you enough energy. It might be very hard to get motivated or to become enthusiastic about something, or you know, maybe imagine that you want to be going to the theater with your partner in the evening, and then you had to do a 10-hour shift, and then in the evening, honey, I'm just not up for it. Right, that Venus and Uranus sextile is always already kind of in the trash bin, right? Just because of Sun square Neptune. So one thing we can really do is, if you can, take a day off, because that might help actually to boost yourself, or make sure that you do something meditating. So for instance, when I'm extremely tired, uh, I've got Sun in the 12th house, I tend to be having a shower. And it's a little bit of a cold and then a hot, and then I change that up a little bit. And I tend to be waking up. Or even I tell you, when I'm extremely lazy or tired to go to the gym, and then I still push myself because I made an appointment, and I hate canceling appointments. That's something which I'm very much against, unless I really have to. But by the time I get to the gym or I start doing something, all of a sudden I'm hyped up. And then after, I am full of energy. So do something which you know energizes you, right? This day could bring really much confusion and disappointment as well. So you might want to be paying attention on that, or you might be over idealizing, for instance, that date with Venus sextile Uranus. You expect way too much from it, and then it doesn't give you as much. Right? This is the aspect of scandal and slander. So we might be seeing all those type of things as well. And this is also a hypochondria type of aspect as well. So I'm not suggesting if you have got Sun and Neptune square going on in your chart that you are hypochondric. So don't get me wrong whatsoever, but this is an aspect of that. And then you might just feel the need that, oh, I want to be going for a medical test, or you know, I need a blood work because I feel like I'm drained. Just remember, there is Sun square Neptune in the sky. Maybe it's just blown out of the ballpark. Maybe it's a little bit harder to deal with secrets as well. So you might want to be careful about that too, because yeah, we can be a little bit more chatty as well, or it's a little bit harder to cover things up. So use this energy for some type of creativity, even entertainment, something which is a little bit cool and laid back type of entertainment. So this is your weekly forecast for the second week of June. And if you like the video, press like, and let's enjoy that Leo Mars energy which is ahead of us. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.